Never tried to do this on 3 platforms before, so, who knows what is going to happen. But hi, everybody. Uh, it has, it's been a couple Fridays since I've been able to do one of these Friday, office hours, the Ask Me Anythings. The whole thing has always been, if I've been, busy working with clients or whatever, I said I wouldn't be able to do one of these. So the past couple Fridays have been busy. I don't know if this microphone is actually working. I hope it is. Um, so I'm going to be trying to manage comments across 3 screens because for some reason I can't get a stream key to be able to do all this from one device. So right now you're going to see me looking in places. So like I've got Instagram over here, I have YouTube here, I have TikTok here. So I'm going to be doing the best that I can. If I miss a question or anything, please feel free to ask that question again, because I want to be able to answer all of your questions. So all that background too, it's been a couple weeks. I have been I've been busy. So I had a couple of big headshot clients where I was out on location doing things. And then when I wasn't actually on location, then I was at a place where I was trying to edit and get those things delivered. I'm working on some new products here in the studio. So while I'm doing this, for anyone who's here, I want to make sure that you guys can hear me because I'm wearing like 2 different microphones, and then I have a different microphone going for YouTube. So if you can hear me, please let me know in the comments. If you can't hear me and you can lip read, let me know that as well. Because the last thing I want to be doing is just talking to a bunch of you who can't hear me. That would be awful. And this is an Ask Me Anything format, so you can literally ask me anything. I'm assuming that thumb from Laura means that TikTok can hear me, which is great. Okay, good. And I'm seeing on Instagram that Instagram can hear me too. That is awesome. YouTube people come and go, so who knows? Hopefully you can hear me, YouTube. So this is an Ask Me Anything sort of situation. So it can literally be anything. If you want to talk about photography, you can ask me photography questions. If you want to ask me questions about the business of a photography business, you can ask me about that. That includes social media, websites, images, lighting, marketing, whatever. We can also talk about anything else. As a lot of you know, I'm on a fitness journey. Feel free to ask questions about that. I just started karate at 48 years old, which I'm going to do a whole series of videos on. Feel free to ask me about that. If you want to know more about Cedric, whatever, this is literally anything. I'm an open book. These formats that I've been doing are really for you guys to get a chance to know me better, and for me to be helpful to you if I can help make any of your photography lives a little bit easier. Not only that, if you're interacting with me on these lives, it makes these a whole lot easier, because hello, hi, happy Friday. It's been a few Fridays since I've done this, so good to see you and thank you for coming back. I've been busy out working with people, so this is like the first pseudo chill Friday that I've had in a while, which is both a blessing and a curse. So you guys are going to get a scoop. This may be interesting to some of you. Some of you may not care. I'm launching a new product here in the studio, a new service, I guess it would be, where I am now doing video headshots as well. So something for people to be able to add to their websites to let their clients get to know them a little bit better. I just filmed and produced the first one the other day, which is exciting. And I have another couple of them lined up for next week, which is also very exciting. So I figured at this point, I should take everything that I've learned doing all of the social media stuff and the amount of video stuff that I've been doing, and I should start using that to be able to benefit my clients a little bit. So that is something fun and exciting, and hopefully people dig it. And if they don't, then we tried, right? Um, what else, man? It's been like there's been so much going on that I have a hard time going, oh yeah, I did this and I did that, and what are these lives going to find interesting? Um, so as I said, a couple big clients that I've been working with, like I just a couple weeks ago, week and a, whatever. I went out and worked with one of the state's many the local health organizations doing headshots for their entire team. Um, Thought those were the things behind me you thought were paintings? Thank you. I take that as a huge compliment. No, none of these on the walls behind me are paintings. Everything here is photographs created here in the studio. I do get that they look like paintings a lot, and I think it has a lot to do. I think there's a misconception in the photo world because there's a lot of people say, I love the painterly style. And I think a lot of people think a majority of that work comes from the edit. In reality, very little of the work comes from the edit. It's all in, lighting and, lighting really. Um, so I've been asked so much okay, so I'm answering a question on TikTok, and there's two questions on TikTok. So Laura, if I forget yours, ask that again. It's a good question. So don't know how much to charge for a module. That's a great question. Um, and I just put out my course, a couple months ago on the short form video for photographers thing, and also was kind of in that same boat of going, I don't know what to charge for it because it's such a different beast on things. That my brain is whirling away trying to come up with a good answer for you. Are you thinking about doing something like a subscription service where like a Patreon or something like that, where you could do um lessons and then like people subscribe so you could like keep teaching things so it's a recurring form of revenue? Are you thinking about doing something like a video tutorial course where like you sell it once and you're a thing? Are you thinking about doing it as a situation where um somebody is like booking a one-on-one with you in the studio? Okay, so if Patreon feels right with that, and I do have a Patreon. I pretty much only use Patreon right now as a place to uh, get support for all the social media that I do. If anybody wants to contribute, and where I can share uncensored versions of my work for anyone that wants to see it that way. It's never client work. It's always models that I've brought in that looks just like my client work. For an education thing, I think you could do a couple different tiers, right? Like you could do like, and I'm spitballing right now, so a grain of salt, everything. I think you could do one that was like an entry level, sewing, and I'm pulling numbers out of the air too. So like $5 a month, and here's basic sewing skills. Here's how you sew on a button. Here's how you biggledy boo, biggledy, just the really basic stuff. And then at higher levels, as you're getting into, and I don't know enough about sewing to speak intelligently about this, so whatever. But at higher levels, you could charge more. So you want to get to more advanced levels of sewing projects, do 15 $25 a month or whatever. But I think that would be if I was teaching, I think that would be on, and using Patreon, I think I would do it. I think I would tier it by skill level, because some people may just, let's use my stuff for example. Some people may have just gotten like a DSLR for Christmas or a mirrorless, whatever, and they just want to know the basics, how to set exposure, what's the rule of thirds and that sort of thing. And that may be all they need. But then there may be other people who want to go more advanced, which is going to take more time, effort, and energy to be able to support them and answer questions. So they would be at a higher price point, whether that's $20 a month, $50 a month, whatever. Yeah, I would kind of go from there and think about your time with it as well. And, so like if a if at a more advanced level you had to spend more time with a person, and then that's time that you couldn't be spending with your in-person clients, then charge appropriately for that. But then you may also need to move them to once they get so far, they may have to go to a one-on-one coaching situation as well. I think there's a lot. The more I talk about it, the more I like it a lot. So if you ever want to talk more about that, I would totally be 100% down for that. And then Laura on TikTok asked, do you have any advice for making the leap to professional? I feel like my work isn't good enough. Okay. So Laura, you are never, ever going to feel like your work is good enough, right? Like the imposter syndrome thing is real and is always going to be there. So my advice to you would be start, like just start now, like set your prices, start advertising and go. I don't mean this to sound harsh. I know photographers who aren't very good who are making 6 figures a year because they're just going. Like they're out there and they're doing it, and their work still speaks to someone. So it's just start, right? And your work is going to change and improve as you do it, right? Like, so the work that I've been at this professionally since 2013. I started without really knowing anything that I was going to do or what I was doing, how to run a business, any of that jazz, right? And the work that but I got paid. I was able to pay myself and make a living. As I learned more about running a business, I wasn't charging enough, but that's beside the point. You figure that stuff out too. The work that I was creating in 2013 looks nothing like the work that I create now. Just full stop. The work that I created 4 years ago doesn't look the same that my work does today. Like it keeps changing and evolving, right? Because I view the world differently. So that's going to affect the art that I create. My skill level is going to keep improving. Like every time I photograph somebody, my skill level is going to improve, hopefully. So I would say just start, just get out there and go. If you're looking to go professional and you're looking to get paid for this, then you have to know your numbers and you have to set your price appropriately. Like don't do what so many people do when they first start and they jump in and they just go, okay, I'm going to charge like rock bottom because I don't know what I'm doing. And, because then you end up having to play you have to play the volume game to make a living, right? So know your numbers and set your price. And a crash course on setting your prices, and I'm going to make a video about this too. Figure out all of your expenses, every single one of them. So that's, what your gear cost. If you already own the gear, don't forget maintenance. Don't forget, when you drop something and you break it and whatever, gear takes abuse. So it's your cell phone, it's your cell phone plan, it's your computer, it's insurance, both business and health. It's, if paying for your studio, if you don't have a studio, if you're using your house, it's doing that. If you're shooting outside, what are the cost of permits? Because technically in most parks and public situations, you need a permit to be working in the park, et cetera, et cetera. So figure out all of those prices and like add everything up. Add everything. You will be surprised at all the things that you're actually paying for when you do this. Then from there, figure out how much you want to work, right? Like, do you want to do 10 shoots a week? Do you want to do 5 shoots a week? Like, for example, I will only do 4 portrait boudoir sessions a month. Done. I won't do more than that. I do a lot. I can do more headshots than that, but portrait and boudoir work, I'll only do 4, right? So you figure out all of that, and then you figure out how many days do you want to work? Do you want to work 7 days a week? I don't. Do you want to work 100 hours a week? I don't. So you have to figure those things out, and then you divide one by the other, and that tells you what your average sale price needs to be. Most of the photographers that you see on social media who do things like, it's a money grab where they're going, I'll, do a mini session with you for, $150 and, give you 20 images from that, like they're going to go out of business. You That's not sustainable. You cannot do the volume, because you also have to factor in the time when you're not working with clients. So when you're marketing, when you're working on your website, when you're networking, when all the other things that go into running the business, unless you're jobbing all those things out, which costs money. So figure out your numbers and go. Don't undercharge. Like, there's also a pricing psychology thing. Like, if you're a low priced person, people value what they pay for, right? And we see this a lot. And the example I always use when I'm teaching this is a sugar analogy. So, like, if you go to your local grocery store and you go down the baking aisle, there's going to be store brand sugar, and it's just going to, white packaging, black label, sugar. And then there's going to be like the Domino brand, right? Which is has all the color and graphic design and all that crap on it. One bag is like $2.50. I'm pulling numbers out of the air. The other bag's like $4.99, right? Same size bag, same sugar, different packaging. And I'm guilty of this, where I've been like, going through and I go, oh, that one's more expensive, so it's probably better. It's the same sugar, right? So you will attract a better client when you're charging more. I'll actually give you a recent example for me. I ran a day of headshots in the studio, specifically at actors. Nice. I got the sugar prices right. Thank you. So I ran a day of headshots for actors. They were, half-hour sessions. I was given 2 images. I was trying to do something nice for the acting community here in my town. So I did like a rock bottom pricing thing. It was like $200, 30 minutes. And I was giving away 2 images, which would normally cost you $600 in my studio, for that same thing. And the amount of questions that I got from people who were trying to get more free stuff during that, like, I probably took 20 different emails from people going, but yeah, that I get the makeup artist for free with that, right? Or can I have 6 images instead of 2? Right. Different caliber of client, as opposed to, the people who come to my studio and I go, okay, so your total is going to be, $2,500. They just hand me their credit card. It's different. It's just a different thing. And I don't say any of that to be mean or to be cruel. It's a fact of it. It's what happens. You can ask any small business owner, and they'll back me up on that. Okay. So there's my pricing guide. That's what I would do. If you're looking to go professional, start today. Just do it. Like, if you don't have a website already, buy your domain, set up your Instagram, set up your Facebook, set up your LinkedIn, all that, set it up, start posting your work and letting people know that you're available. Don't go out there and be salesy on Instagram. Be like, book me, book me, book me. But it's, here's the work that I create. Here's how you book me. Boom. And, get out there and go. And I love it. I love that you've got the drive to want to do it. It's good stuff. And you are so very welcome. So No Stips asked over on TikTok as well. Would you say your portraits are 40% camera and 60% editing, or what's the ratio? I would say for the painterly look that I do, 97.3% is camera and lighting. And then that 2.3% is anything in post. Everything, like all of the heavy lifting, is done in camera. Like when I do a portrait and boudoir session, I sell those images directly out of camera, right? So what I don't want to do is photograph somebody, go select a bunch of images, edit those images, and then go try to sell them, because now I've wasted a bunch of time if people don't buy the images that I selected. So when I do the photo shoot, I shoot with my camera connected to my computer, and while they're changing back into their street clothes or whatever, and I know not everyone can see it, I have a sales room here in the studio that I have a big 65-inch TV in there, because show your work big. And I go in, I airdrop up to the screen, and we review the images. No, you can't be a co-host. I don't know who you are. What's wrong with you? Um, and I sell it like directly out of camera, and then I only edit the things that people purchase. The way that my clients see things is because I light it correctly, post it correctly, and all of that. To them, they feel like they're already seeing the finished work, right? So, very very little of the work that I do is done in post. Everything is done in lighting. Uh, hold on. Pardon me. Sorry. So Laura says over on TikTok, she says, I did a wedding for free. You are not the only one. I did like I've only done like 8 weddings total in life because I don't want to shoot weddings. Um, the first wedding that I did though, I think I charged maybe $300, maybe. So it should have been. I should have just given it to them as a wedding gift. So yeah, a lot of us start that way, and we start, as we're figuring things out. And like when I'm trying to figure something out lighting wise, or I was talking earlier about the new service that I'm offering in the studio with these video headshots. Normally the first several of those that I do are free, like, because I'm not going to charge somebody for time that I'm experimenting and playing around. Now that said, when I do those, I bring in people that I know and trust, so that I cannot so that I can actually spend the time to wrap my brain around what I'm doing, and I don't need to worry as much about coaching and their stuff. Like if they know me, they know what I'm doing, which is great. And then also if it all goes terribly, then it's not a paying client, so I don't have to stress about it that much. Like, so yeah, we all start that way. It's how you get your feet wet. That's cool. Levo, that's a very long name, says that's a goal for me. Such a good description on how to do IPS style. Yeah, that's, when I first started doing in-person sales, I used Sue Bryce's method right out of the gate, because that's what I'd seen and it's what I knew. And it's not what I knew, it's what I saw. So as I was learning that, and Sue's method worked really great for her. I don't know if she still does it that way. I'm not on a hey, let's have a phone call sort of relationship with her. I see her stuff on social media. That's all I see. But she, at that point, when she would do a photo shoot, she would select like the 30 best images from the session, and then she would edit those, and she was able to edit very quickly. I think she had like a 3-minute edit or something, which I didn't have. She would print them, she would put them in mats, and had a reveal wall, and then she would sell those, and that worked really, really well for her. I found that didn't work as well for me, and I was spending a lot more time trying to deal with the edit and get things done and all that. And then because I also wasn't that fast at editing at the time, I would have to like send the client away and then ask them back like a week or 2 weeks later, because I also didn't have printing capability. So I'd have to send things off to my lab to be printed. So there was a big gap between when we actually like did the photo shoot and then when the client got to see their images. And so there's like some of the excitement from the day goes away when you do that as well, as opposed to just doing it straight out of camera here in the studio. Like they don't leave the studio beforehand. Like it's here, they're still excited about it. So I really just going straight out of camera has been amazing for me, and I think my clients like it better. And I do the same with headshots. I do everything. Again, I'm tethered, to everything. Well, I'm tethered to my computer. And as soon as we get done with the headshot session, we review and the client select their images right here on the spot. It's easier for them. They don't get stressed out by proofing galleries, because proofing galleries, people think they want a proofing gallery. Proofing galleries stress people out, because what ends up happening, I see actors do this all the time, is like they'll share all the images on Facebook. Like an actor will post like 20 images on Facebook and be like, okay, everybody help me, pick your favorite headshots. And then they end up with like 100 different opinions on 20 different shots. And so then there's an analysis paralysis going on, and like so it ends up being a waste of time and causes stress, as opposed to if we do it here in the studio, and I go through and I review with them. I tell them what I like, what I don't like, why this works, why it doesn't work. But at the end of the day, they have to trust their own gut when it comes to selecting their images. They're going to be the ones out there marketing themselves with those images, so they have to feel comfortable with the shots. That's really the biggest thing. So if you're not doing in-person sales on all of your shoots, especially if you can shoot tethered, you're missing a big opportunity, and a way to keep your clients comfortable. Instagram, I don't know if y'all are talking to me or not. I see you all joining in. And it's my first time doing an Instagram live. So trying to do this across 3 different platforms is wild. Oh, actually, I know, because somebody responded earlier. So Instagram, if you guys have questions too. So if you guys are just joining in, what's happening is I have Instagram here, I have YouTube here, and I have TikTok here. So I'm trying to do this live across 3 things. Once upon a time, you could, there were services that you could use to go live on all platforms at once, but TikTok is no longer being very kind about giving up their streaming keys. So trying to do that is to quote Wiggum, impossible. So at least I haven't figured out a way, and I haven't had an agency pick me up yet. So thank you all for all the great questions so far. And if there are other questions, please feel free to let me know. You can ask about anything. This is literally an ask me anything. So we can talk about the photography stuff, but we can also talk about anything else. Who's calling me from? We'll take that later. And then my Apple Watch thought that I was actually asking it. You are so welcome. But yeah, so when I'm saying ask anything, it's anything at all. And we can talk about Cedric if you want to talk about him, talk about the fitness journey that I'm on, or why I'm a maniac and decided to start taking karate at 48 years old. Anything where I'm open. That's I haven't been able to do. You lost sound on Instagram. That's not good. Here, let's see if I just do. Okay, see if it comes back. So Instagram, let me know if you have sound. I just completely killed the microphone there. Instagram, are we back by chance? Maybe, possibly. It's like my entire, like the phone rang and everything went wonky. Well, that's no fun. All right. Well, I tell you what we're gonna do then, because I've been on for about 30 minutes or so now. So since everything went dumb and I don't have more questions coming in, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap these up. But my plan will be to be back here next Friday as well. Yeah, see if it's you, because if not, I'm gonna wrap this up. So actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Cheers to you as well. Instagram, have a good one. YouTube, have a good one, and I will see you all next week.